A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are in good. Today is 18th August 2020. Day is Tuesday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Mahatma Gandhiji, one of the most important quote that I have ever came across. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. There is a saying, it goes like this that Chinta Chitta Saman. Chinta, that means worry, and Chitta is like pyre. So it's like you are sitting on your pyre. That's what worrying is all about, and it takes a heavy toll on your body as well. And in this quote, Mahatma Gandhiji is saying that if you believe in God, if you trust in God, or if you have faith, any faith in God, then there is nothing at all in this world that you should be worried about. Leave everything on Him. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers your pre as well as mains examination, and at present EMI offer is also going on. It will last till 31st August, so make the most out of it. On our table, we have three important articles. All three important articles are talking about tax platform that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently launched. So we are going to talk about this particular thing in detail. And then we have one article, it's about urban-rural disparities. We are going to spend 2-3 minutes after it, and then there are a few news items. But most important topic of the day is this one, right? So let's crack on. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. So recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched a transparent taxation honoring the honest. Now, this platform is for making things better, easing the compliance burden. That's one of the main aim of this transparent taxation honoring the honest and rewarding honest taxpayers. So these are the two main aims of this new platform that is launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, at present, the situation in our country when it comes to tax collection or people paying tax is very bad. You see, in our country, we have 130 crore people living, but out of this 130 crore, only 1.5 crore people are paying their taxes. So, if you draw some bars, then it looks something like this, right? In our country, there are few people, right? They pay a very high amount of tax. So this height indicates rate of your tax, right? So this is rate, and the width indicates the number of people paying tax, which is quite small. So few people paying high amount of tax. That's the situation of our country. I still remember the words of late Arun Jaitley. He was our finance minister, and he said that the long-term goal of Government of India is to widen the tax base and see if we have this sort of scenario where more people are paying tax, right? Then this bar would look something like this, right? Many people paying tax, so this indicates many people, and the rate, the height indicates the rate, so rate will be lower. So at present, let's say if you are earning somewhere around 15 lakh rupees or plus. I'm not an expert in taxation, but I know some basic things about it, and that's more than enough for your general studies. So if you are, let's say, earning more than 15 lakh rupees, then you have to pay some 30% of tax, right? So this is high amount of tax because very few people are paying it. But if we have more people, if tax base is if it is expanded, if it is let's say more and more crores, and out of 130 crore people, let's say 50 crore people are paying tax, then we can keep it 5% or maybe 7%, and we will be more than happy. Means people will be more than happy to pay as well, and government will get enough revenue out of people who are paying tax. So I hope this basic thing is clear. So we need to widen the tax base. That's the bottom line or one of the core aim. And whilst widening this tax base, we have to make sure that the compliance burden is not there. It is a very smooth process, and we have to also make sure that those people who are honestly paying taxes, they are not harassed. Now, Government of India, or you can say this platform MyGov India, it tweeted this thing, and this tweet said that there will be a list of reportable financial transactions by individuals. So the reason why I'm mentioning this tweet is because this tweet was later deleted, and this is again a very important thing for us to analyze. That I'll talk about it as we move on. Don't worry about it. For now, just keep this point in your mind that there was a tweet by government or this platform called MyGov India, and this tweet talked about this reportable financial transactions by individuals. So if you are paying your hotel bills of more than 20,000 rupees, if your life insurance premium is more than 50,000 rupees, if your health insurance premium is over 20,000 rupees, and there are other things as well. So if you do all these things, then Government of India will do a proper scrutiny. I won't say that the word scrutiny is not like they will ask you to come, or you don't have to visit tax officer. But what government will do is government will go through each and everything, and then based on that thing, government will decide or will match how much wealth or how much income you're declaring, and that will be compared with your expenses. So you have to provide all these things as per the tweet, but this tweet was deleted, isn't it? So when you are adding all these things, let's say means the tweet was deleted, so we know that this will be means government will not ask you for providing evidence of all these things, because we are living in this age of big data. Government can cross-check. There are so many sources and better ways of sourcing and cross-checking, so there is no point for you to ask to the people. You can do it yourself, or government can do it itself, this thing, cross-checking and verifying how much a person is spending, and based on that thing you can of course know, or you can come to a conclusion that this person would be earning X amount of money. But when you add all these things, what happens is compliance burden goes up, and the more complex the situation, the more easier it is for the tax person or the administration to indulge in corruption, isn't it? And most of the time what we find is that, generally speaking, all these things are incurred by salaried middle class, and we have a very strong base of salaried middle class people who are paying their right amount of tax. So there is no point for asking these people to give all these details, right? Point number one. Now, the most interesting thing is, on one side, Prime Minister Modi said that we need to make it seamless, we need to make it painless, we need to make it faceless. And on the other side, we found this tweet. Though it was deleted, it indicates that there is, or there was, a dissonance. That means there was a sort of lack of communication, or there was means Prime Minister Modi as well as his team and this tax department, they were not in sync. Synchronization was lagging, and that's why this tweet was tweeted and then it was deleted. So we need to focus here that so many people are not paying tax. This itself indicates that our tax collection system is not robust enough. Our tax department's capabilities are not good enough. So first of all, we need to repair our tools, that is tax department. So building the capabilities of tax department is one of the most important thing. And once you develop its ability and capability, then we have to check what are the things, or you can do it simultaneously as well. We need to find out what are the things through which people are evading their tax. So this is not like digitalization is one step. Yesterday we were talking about health infrastructure, isn't it? So digitalization in tax as well is very important thing, but that is not appropriate. You have to sort out your tax department capabilities. At the same time, you have to do some changes with the rules, and then we can see some sort of positive result. Before moving on to the next article, please make sure, dear friends, that you share this lecture with other students. If you have learned something from today's discussion, then hit the like button, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, again, continuing our discussion on the same thing, transparent taxation, honoring the honest. This platform meets the requirement of 21st century taxation system. Of course, we need to have faceless assessment, faceless appeal, taxpayers charter. These three things were released, and we need all these three things because they are important in today's world. Now, I'm sure you want to know more about faceless assessment, faceless appeal, and taxpayers charter. I'm going to explain. I have some points regarding faceless assessment as well as appeal mechanism, and there's a charter as well. But proper explanation I will provide it to you today itself. Of course, don't worry about it. But the thing is, in the third article, we have some important point regarding it. This system is also talking about providing a transparent and taxpayer-friendly regime, and it is also talking about forging a trust between the tax department and taxpayer. When it comes to trust, when it comes to friendly regime, I would like to add here that under British Raj or before British Raj, when we were under various different kingdoms, people were subjects, right? Now, there is a big difference when you are a subject and when you are a citizen. Citizen is the king at the end of the day, right? In a democratic system. Now, ground reality can be very different, but on books at least, citizens are the kings, or citizens have the ultimate power because we choose our representatives and things like that. Subjects are not treated as citizens. Subjects are more like slaves, right? I'm being a bit blunt here, but if citizens are treated like slaves, then you can imagine subjects have no rights, and there are so many things that subject cannot enjoy. So taking tax from subject was something that was part of administration, but now at present we are not under administration, we are under management. I think we need to change this IAS, the Indian Administrative Service. I think it should be more like Indian Management Service, because we are citizens, we are not subjects anymore. But anyway, we are not going into details of that thing, then we will have altogether different debate. So from citizens, you cannot treat citizens like slaves. But in our culture in India, not only officers and offices, but even citizens, we have a colonial hangover. Whenever we see a collector or superintendent of police or your revenue commissioner or revenue officer, if you find a notice from your taxman, then people are scared, like what will happen, and because even if they have done nothing wrong, they are very much scared because there is this hype around, and many times they are not wrong as well. Revenue service is not one of the cleanest, to be honest, right? There is so much of corruption going on, and because of this complex rules and regulations, people are harassed, and finally then they reach to a sort of under-table settlement, and all these things are going on. So this system particularly is very important, this digital system. This is faceless, and everything is going to be digital, and this is very important in today's COVID-19 or COVID pandemic time as well. Faceless assessment and appeal mechanism, imparting greater efficiency, transparency and accountability because it's going to be online, eliminating physical interface between taxpayers and tax officials. So you don't know the tax officer don't know who you are, so no chances of corruption or any sort of interaction or give and take. Promoting ease of compliance and functional specialization. If you're doing online, then it's going to be, you have to follow rules and regulations, and if you are following it, then everything is going to be okay. Improvement in quality of assessment, of course, and expeditious disposal of cases, so things will move fast. As far as taxpayers charter is concerned, it talks about this thing that I have said just now, treating citizens, right? Treating people or treating taxpayers as citizens. They are not your subjects, so treat them fairly, courteously, and your behavior, tax officials' behavior should be rational. At the same time, taxpayers, it's their responsibility to be honest, compliant and timely and aware about the things and rules and regulations. So it's like give and take, right? Both government as well as, or government employees as well as taxpayers, they have to do their best. Honest taxpayers are important for the development of any country, right? They are the ones who are paying their taxes. They are the ones whose money is used for buying Rafale. Their money is used for buying drones, and not just drones, and everything, right? Everything in our country is, we directly, indirectly contribute our money so that we live in a we hope that our money will be spent for better purpose. The big problem that I find, and I have talked with so many people, and my conclusion is that, my understanding is that, the reason why so many people, it's not like people are not patriot, it's not like people are not aware of where their money will be used. The reason why people avoid tax is, many times, not I'm saying all of them, right? Many of them, the reason why they don't pay is because that thing, the money that they are spending, or the money that they are giving in tax, right? They cannot see its reflection. They cannot see that money manifesting situation or things around it, like better schools, better roads, and corruption is going on everywhere, then Gundaraj and all these things have destroyed the trust of people in the system. And this is one of the main reason people are not. So government should think about this thing as well. This is a ground reality thing, and I'm sure many of you will agree on this thing, that I'm sure many of you have heard about this thing, or many of you would be feeling this thing as well, that if I give my honest tax money, then there are so many political parties, there are so many people, they don't pay their money or their taxes on times, and why should I give? Right? Rather, I will keep the money as well. If everyone is giving, then I will give. Right? But if I'm just giving and no one is giving, then why should I give? It makes me look like a fool, isn't it? So this is something that government should work on. We need to create this trust. Once we have this trust, then people are more than happy to pay their taxes. If they see that their money is used for good purpose, then definitely people will pay the right amount of tax. So building trust is one of the most important thing. Then digital, hopefully this faceless assessment will make things faster, and tax base will increase, and litigation or cases pertaining to taxes will go down. Tax scrutiny has gone down already, because this Modi government has started trusting people, and so scrutiny was 0.94% earlier, but it is down by almost 1/4. It's 0.26% now. Under Vivad Se Vishwas scheme, almost 3 lakh cases. There are some 9 lakh cases. Out of that, 3 lakh cases have been sorted out. I'm not sure whether there are 9 lakh cases, but I know one thing. Sorry, ignore this figure. I know one thing, that there is some 9 lakh crore rupees. Now I'm sure about this figure, right? 9 lakh crore rupees is stuck in this sort of cases, and this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme will release, out of this 3 lakh cases sorted out, the government will get some 1 lakh crore rupees, right, out of this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme. So let's hope that rest of the 8 lakh crore rupees is sorted out as quickly as possible, so government as well as the companies can do their job and they can move on, and this money can be used for better purpose. Amidst all these efforts, the number of people filing income tax returns has increased by about 2.5 crores in last 6 to 7 years, and there is evidence suggesting that after demonetization, more people have started filing their returns. Now, there is a big difference between filing returns and paying tax. The latest data suggests that some 5 crore people, they have filed their returns. Filing return means that you started submitting your documents, and you started showing that you are earning money from this and that place. But out of this 5 crore people, only 1.5 crore people paid tax. So that means rest of how much? 3.5 crore people, they have said that 3.5 crore people have said that their earning is less than 5 lakh rupees per year. Now, you know it very well in your area as well. If you are living in a city, then even in a village, you will have one person who will be crorepati. There are few villages these days where they are not. And not saying everyone, but at least you will find one person. Forget about village. If you go in a city area, we have these posh areas, expensive areas. In those expensive areas, you will find so many families, right? If you are living in a city that is having 10 lakh population, then you will find at least 1,000 houses. Their income will be more than 1 crore, per year. I'm being very minimalist here, right? 1 crore per year. So, but if you see, they are filing nil return. They are saying that our income is just 5 lakh rupees per month, so per year. So we find this sort of people as well. So here Modi ji is right. We are now in third article. This was printed in today's Pioneer newspaper. Honest taxpayers play a crucial role in national development. When the life of an honest taxpayer is simplified, he progresses, which leads to the progress of the nation too. The resources garnered by collecting cess from the people who regularly pay their taxes are either bedrock of are the bedrock of any country's development. Very simple to very easy to understand, as we have just discussed that this is the money through which we buy everything, development projects and welfare projects and all the schemes and building schools and so many other things, and government is maintaining fiscal deficit, and then government is doing this thing. Now we have talked about this three things, isn't it, the three main pillars already. I have explained faceless assessment and faceless appeal and taxpayer charter. Now I'm going to throw some more light on how this faceless assessment, particularly faceless appeal, and if there are any faults with it, then what are the things that we need to do. While the first and the third took immediate effect, a second pillar, that is faceless appeal, will start from 25th, or it will come into enforcement from 25th September. The idea behind faceless assessment is to ensure that the person paying tax does not know who the tax officer is, and the tax officer will not know who the tax paying person is. So everything will work on a number, right? No address, no name, so you don't know who that person is. So less chances of prejudice or stereotype or maybe inclination or partiality. You cannot call anyone and ask for money, and so it will make things more transparent. The return is filed electronically, and assessment is also done in e-mode, that is called e-assessment. So e-assessment or faceless e-assessment eliminates territorial jurisdiction. So let's say if you are living in Rajkot, so you don't have to, when you file things, right, it's your person who is sitting in IT department Rajkot, he's not going to, means he will not get your documents. Your documents will be given to someone in Gandhinagar or maybe in Pune or maybe in Mumbai. So you see, there is no local connection between you and the tax official. The aim is to bring transparency and objectivity. There could be a more potent way to eliminate corruption, and that has been the hallmark of the taxman. The SSC's interface for decades. This tax department, the reputation is not that great. And so to get rid of this whole corruption thingy and, to get rid of this whole harassment that you will get notice and you will be asked to, be present in front of an official. So all these things will be gone now. If assessment of income tax returns is faceless, logically the appeal against the assessment order passed by the tax officer has to be faceless too. So if you have any problem or anything, then that will be done on faceless basis as well. So everything will be based on a number. So National E-Assessment Center will release the order, and Government of India has trained some 3,500 personnel or officers as well. So Government of India is very serious about this whole thing. This indicates this training and creating a strength of nearly 3,500 assessing officer indicates that government is ready to launch and go ahead with this faceless assessment as well as appeal. There are a few gray areas as well that we need to sort out, or government should sort out. The thing is, what about re-evaluation or reopening of a particular case? See, the thing is, earlier on, the government used to do, or the officials, they used to go for survey. And in surveys, they used to find something and something, black money. But here, if surveys are not allowed, everything will be done online. And what about those complex cases in which you need someone, in which you need some sort of explanation from that person? Many a times you have to look in the eyes of that person to find out whether he's saying right or whether he's speaking truth or lies. So these are few gray areas that government should sort it out. And we can also arrange this thing that if you for whatever reason, finally, if you want to see someone in person, then everything, your discussion and everything should be under video audio recording. So there are no under table discussion. A computer generated documentation identification number will be launched from 1st October and this will be mandatory for every type of communication with IT department. If you don't, it is a notice, letter, order, summon, any other correspondence without this number or documentation, every communication will be deemed invalid. Freedom from present cumbersome regime won't come merely by stipulating the companies have options to choose. What this article is saying that, so far these things are clear, right? Now we'll talk about some problems. See, recently Government of India made some changes with this companies tax or tax reforms. So new companies 15%, and old companies they used to pay 30% plus cess and everything, surcharge and everything, but now that has been reduced. But now government is providing you options, and this is a big problem with your individual tax as well, direct tax. Of course, your company's tax is also part of this income direct tax, but when it comes to individual, then you are being provided options as well, that if you want exemptions, then you follow old regime. If you don't want exemptions, then you have to follow new regime. So this sort of options are creating things, or they complicate things. One thing. Second thing, when it comes to GST, it's been nearly 3 years, but today as well, GST, there are so many things that are not part of GST, like crude oil, petrol, diesel, and some other things. We have so many slabs, right? Then you have exemptions. So this article in the end portion is suggesting that what we need to do is scrap all exemption and deductions. There should be one uniform tax of 15% on all the firms. When it comes to individuals, if you're earning, let's say, less than 10 lakh rupees per year, then you pay 7.5% tax. If you're earning more than 10 lakh, then you pay 15%, right? And that's it. And if you keep this reasonable rate, then all the crororepatis, they would be more than happy to pay their tax. Because at present what happens is you fall under 30% tax. 30% tax is too much. If you are, I'm not an expert in tax, but I know that after deducting some exemptions, you pay a huge amount of money when you are under 30% tax. It's not simple like if you earn 100, if your profit is 100, or if your yearly income is 100, then you pay 30 lakh rupees. It's not like that. You will get some sort of deduction and things. But anyway, you'll be paying huge amount of money. So it's very painful for anyone to give away 1 or 2 or 3 months income directly to government. It's because of this rate. If you keep it, let's say if you're earning 1 crore rupees, and if you have to pay 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 3 lakh rupees, or maybe 10 lakh rupees, maybe, right? I'm just giving you a rough example. 10 lakh again is going to be a big amount, but in our country, if 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees out of 1 crore, if you have to pay, then people will be more than happy. They say, okay, let's pay that money, right? It will help government and it will help us eventually. But when you have to pay 30 lakh, 35 lakh, 25 lakh, then that is big thing for people. And then they indulge in all this sort of avoidance and evasion. And as far as GST is concerned, this article is saying that we need to have just 2 slabs. One is of 5% and 10%, and there should be no exclusion at all. This one is about policy making has to take the lead in addressing urban-rural disparities. This one is from Indian Express. So we know the importance of agriculture in our country. Agriculture has been a source of strength in this distressing time of Indian economy, because agriculture was or is part of essential activities, and agriculture activities were going on, fruit, vegetables, and growing grains and other things during this lockdown phase. Luckily, monsoon has been good, Kharif sowing has been good, and production has been good. So we are going to see bumper harvest this year. Market is going to be good for agriculture. What we need to do is, and I'm going to be very brief here, in a nutshell, what we need to do is we need to create infrastructure. Agro processing infrastructure is something that we are lacking, and because of this thing, farmers, they don't have any option. They have to sell their produce as early as possible, and many times they have this loan going on, or this credit or that this loan that they have taken from the local money lender. The interest rate is quite high, so they have to sell quickly and return the money quickly. So they don't get, or they don't make the max out of the market. So this is because lack of this whole infrastructure change, or this whole operation change, where like producing, storing, selling it at right time, getting money, everything we need to sort it out. So this is something that government need to work on. And that's basically everything in this article. This article is also talking about the social facilities, right? There is a big gap between the life of your urban area and rural area. In urban area, you find everything 24 by 7, electricity and so many other facilities. In rural area, we don't have this thing. So we need to create those amenities in rural area, so that when it comes to social facilities, rural and urban area are in continuum. And that's basically everything, dear friends. Please help yourself with this important news items, right? And I'll see you soon with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.